Welcome to Awaken with Victoria Bond. I'm your host, Victoria, and I am absolutely honored to bring you this podcast where we will be getting raw, real, turning up consciousness, removing the old energies that do not align, and turning up our capacities as human beings and spiritual beings. I will be bringing you mediumship. I will be bringing you channels. I will be bringing you points of view that will shift your perspective and realign your body, your mind, and your soul. Enjoy this ride. This comes from my heart to yours, and know that while you're listening to this, indeed, you are helping to create this. Enjoy the ride, and I'll see you inside. Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. So it has been a while. I have had some time off to recover from COVID, which I want to talk about today. And also we have had a rebrand. So now this podcast is called Awakening with Victoria Bond instead of Releasing Your Blocks. So Spirit has guided me to really have a massive, massive pivot and shift in my business, in my life, within myself. And, I really do believe that before I got taken down with COVID and I went through this big rebranding process and changing names and going through this process of pivoting the business, I truly believe that getting taken down and out with COVID for 3 weeks was really a blessing. I believe that the energetic expansion that has happened to my body, I'm still coming back into my body now from it. I believe that it was this kind of real huge up level where I had to go through this dark night of the soul and bring up some really deep shadows. I have been deeply working on myself. And it's super important for us to be able to do this so we can pivot and shift and we can realign, reassess, reevaluate where our paths are and where we are heading, because we are always where we are at any given time. And I had this a massive, massive hit to have this photo shoot done to really bring in more of where I'm at now into my branding, into my coaching, into my day-to-day life with my parenting and with my friendships and all the things. And then the day after I got the rebranding up, I changed the names of the podcast and my Facebook groups. I started really looking into the new program called Awake that is happening at the moment and what that looks like. The next day I got really sick with COVID. It has been, it's going on the 3rd week now. You can still hear it in my body a little bit. I'm still a little bit blocked up, but the amount of growth that I had during COVID when I was sick was insane. And I've heard this from some of my friends as well and peers. They've messaged me and said, whoa, the energetic upgrades with this COVID being taken down energetically has been a life shift. It has been something that has elevated the businesses, the bodies, the minds, the relationships, the abundance. And although I'm still navigating through that, I can definitely tell you when I was in it, and I'm not talking about the physical aspect of being sick. I know there's lots of different variants and there's a lot of speculation that it's man-made and, I don't really have a point of view on that. I don't think that's relevant, to be completely honest with you, for this bigger vision of where we're going as humanity, as a planet, as an entity, as a collective. I don't think that matters so much. But what I do know is it wasn't the physical elements of being sick that hit me as much as the energetics. And I had to reevaluate everything in my life. It was nearly like a rebirth. Now, I know some people barely feel the effects, and I know some people don't even get an effect. And I know some other people are opting out of life and they're not choosing to stay here. Other people are getting hospitalized. I know this is a real thing, and I'm certainly not going to say, oh, it's just a little cold. It's what pandemic, I think that might be a little bit ignorant, to be honest. But for me, the awareness of being able to step back, to completely stop. I stopped all channeling. I stopped all mediumship. I stopped all coaching. I stopped even exercising. I wasn't hungry. I just came into this pure stillness of what else is possible with this reality, with my existence, and the presence that I felt because I was unable to think much. I could ask the questions, but I couldn't even receive answers. I couldn't even channel from the beings of light or I'd notice spirit around, but I had absolutely no ambition to create. I was stopped. I was completely stopped. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to interact with the world. All I wanted to do was lie on the couch, and I was unable to do anything. So I realized very quickly, this is not what I'm choosing for my life. I do not want to lie around doing nothing, but I had to go through the experience of stillness and presence with my body, with my demons, as a matter of speaking, with me. And you can't get away from yourself. And this is what, we need to acknowledge in life. When we run, when we hide, when we fight, when we go into fight, flight, or freeze, pretty much, what we're doing is we are literally ignoring ourselves. We're running away from the very thing that we require to look at. And we see this in everyone around us. We see this in the external. We see this in the world as a collective. People are running towards the fight or running away from it. But what if we just stood there and instead of freezing, we just expanded and said, I'm going to completely surrender to the fact that, I am here for greatness, for big things, and I'm here to expand, and I'm here to be me. And this is really what I got from COVID is I can't serve my clients when I am not energetically able to. I cannot serve my clients when my body is shut down and I'm sick. I cannot serve my clients when I am in my mind trying to think about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I cannot serve my clients when I'm multitasking, doing a million things. It's all the same thing. There's a sweet spot that everybody has, and that sweet spot is about how you function. And the way I function is not of that of a generator or a manifest generator or a manifester or a reflector. I have many clients that are all of those different human designs. The way that I function is as an observer of where people's blocks are, where their energy leaks are, and then to be an invitation for them to change that. But it's not in a way where it's hustle, 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 move, move, move. We're continuously moving. And this is the thing. Even when I was on the couch and I felt like the whole world was moving around me, my peers and my friends and my coaches are all exploding and expanding and they're creating and they're showing up, and I'm just on the couch observing. And I'm like, can I create from the space of nothingness? So I had to ask myself a whole lot of questions when it comes to my lifestyle and my relationships and my business. If I was fully taken care of and looked after, and I wasn't in a hustle, if I wasn't trying to promote, if I wasn't showing up for the sake of showing up, because that's what you do to be seen, to create know, like, and trust. You have to be showing up, you have to be seen, you have to be hustling, you have to be outreaching, you have to be promoting. But what if I wasn't? what if I was just required in this pivot right now, in this moment, as I'm lying here on the couch watching the world go by me while I'm wearing my pink unicorn onesie, unable to move because I feel like my body is dead? What if I could create magic and miracles from the space? What if the paradigm that we are coming into with this collective energy, this is what's shifting massively, is full of mediums. It's full of psychic beings. It's full of energetically, emotionally in tuned, emotionally intelligent beings. What if we are more beings of light, and whatever is required in every single moment is exactly what is required? So what if lying here on the couch doing nothing, reaching out to nobody, promoting nothing as well, canceling all of my clients because I'm energetically exhausted because I'm experiencing COVID? Isn't it funny how we say we've got COVID? What about I'm experiencing this energetic upgrade and I have a choice on whether I get sick, whether it floats straight off me, or whether I die? What if we had a choice? And what if COVID was actually a choice? And what if that was perfect, no matter what we chose, right? So, of course, some people might be getting triggered here because there's a lot of interesting points of view of what COVID is and how it's wrong and how it's terrible and how people are dying and, you know, the mandates. I don't know about where you are in the world, but in New Zealand, it's the first time in 6 months I've been allowed to go to a cafe. You know, people look at me like I've been the scum of the earth because I can't even go down to the local coffee shop and order a coffee from where I've got coffee every day for 8 years. It's that type of energy. And the reason why I laugh is because it is ridiculous. But what if it was just interesting? What if it was just ridiculously interesting? And what if we didn't have to have a fucking point of view on everything, which was right or wrong or good or bad? What if it just was? And what if we could hold our own standards? And what if we could get to choose whether we did get sick, whether we died, or whether it didn't affect us? Now, in my household, it was super interesting. We eat all the same food. We take all the same vitamins. We are healthy. We're in the same environment, the same air. You know, I've got 2 children and a husband and myself. And I was the only one who ended up on the couch for 2 weeks. I just did the big rebrand. I just decided that I was going to go do a big pivot in the way that I'm working. But what happened was I got taken out for 2 weeks energetically, and I got kind of sick. Like for 4 days, I was in bed with flu symptoms. It wasn't anything too intense, but it definitely wasn't, I wasn't able to work. My daughter, who's 9 years old, she tested positive and absolutely nothing, perfectly fine, nothing. It didn't even slightly affect her, not even a sniffly nose. My little boy, who's 7, he felt sick for 2 days, like not overly sick. His eyes were a little bit kind of discolored. He had a little bit of a cough. He said, "Mummy, I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling a bit cold." He slept with me one night, like no biggie, like honestly, that you'd kind of send your kid to school with those symptoms. So it wasn't a biggie. And my husband, he felt it, but he kept moving. He said he's a generator in human design. So where I'm lying on the couch and I could barely get to the bathroom to go have a bath, like that was just an enormous amount of effort for me. Because like I say, my body felt like it was asleep for like a couple of weeks. My husband said I can't lie around because if I lie around, I don't think I could handle it. So he kept working outside. He kept moving, although he had a cough and although he felt pretty shitty. It was like a cold for him, like a bit of a flu. He had to keep moving. So there was 4 people in my household who had it all completely different. So was that a choice? I've got a really good immunity. I work on my body. I take all sorts of supplements. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. And yeah, I get a lot of grounding and fresh air and I do a lot of channeling. I'm looked after, you know, but I got really sick. So I can't help but to think where I was pushing in business and rebranding and going, let's go for it, let's go for it, let's go for it. Let's 10x everything. Let's 10x. I love Grant Cardone and 10x, by the way. It's one of my favorite books. I love it. But what if I'm just not meant to function that way? And what if I'm actually meant to be able to be where I am in every moment of every day and choose what I'm choosing and infuse my energy, direct focus into what is really lighting me up, this bigger, 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 bigger vision? What if I am not meant to? What if you're not meant to? I want you to look at yourself here and say, okay, how's this resonating with me? Because what I'm saying may not resonate with you, because you may not be a projector. You may not be desiring to have a huge ripple effect for millions of people around the world. Maybe you just desire to hang out with your family and have enough food and pay the mortgage off by the time you're 50 or 60. And maybe that's just perfect for you, right? But for me, I've got a burning desire to make a huge ripple effect, but I don't want to do it by working my butt off and 10xing all my posts. I desire by doing it, by just being whatever I require to be in every moment, but having a massive ripple effect. That makes no sense, does it? It makes no sense. Nothing makes sense when it comes to when we're thinking in a linear, like when we're used to thinking in a linear fashion, and then we start thinking in a non-linear fashion. This is the difference between the 3D and the 5D. So when I look through my COVID experience, I had a choice. Do I bitch and moan about this and talk about how I was taken out, which I did start doing? I was taken out. Oh my gosh, COVID took me out. I couldn't finish this and I couldn't serve this person. I couldn't show up and I couldn't launch MM. Do I do that? Or do I say, oh my goodness, I've been given an opportunity to completely stop, reassess, renew, rejuvenate, reevaluate, and pivot. And I get to do this. Now, I didn't have to create being taken out for 2 weeks to do that, or going on to the 3rd week, so I'm still not fully back into my body. But what I got to do was to stop. And what happens is when you stop and when you can't think and you can't channel and there's nothing you can do, I couldn't even frickin' journal. Like, I was just blank. It's like I've been cut off. I've been cut off from source. I know that's not real because source was running through me. The creative flow had stopped because I had to be stopped. Because I didn't realize it, but I was still functioning from a linear fashion to create in a way that people with motors around the world, the generators and the mani-gens, how they are functioning. I'm listening to my beautiful husband who's got a motor and he's going, do this and do this and do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I want to make a big ripple effect in the world to show people how they can do the same thing. I'll show them how to do it. But I was pretending to be a generator. That's not the authentic expression that I'm desiring to bring forward into the world. I'm desiring to be so authentic that I can stop and create massive amounts of wealth and alignment, and I can pivot and change, and I can create this conscious environment where people can come and activate within my energy without me even showing up. Again, it doesn't make sense. And what if I could get paid millions to do that? And, of course, impact millions and millions and millions of people. COVID gave me an opportunity to be that. So nothing fell apart. My relationship enhanced, my parenting enhanced, my friendships enhanced, my business enhanced, my body is enhancing. It's going through an upgrade right now, so it's feeling really uncomfortable. I'm going through a metamorphosis. I'm going through a rebirth. What if COVID was a choice, whether it's man-made or not? If it's man-made, it's still a choice. We helped create that collectively. If it's not man-made, if it's been created from, Gaia or from the universe, then we still created it. We still had a part of that. So when are we going to take some responsibility and say, we have created all of this? And I, for one, put my hand up and say, hit me, consciousness. Show it to me, and show it to me with impact. Show it to me where I get taken out so I see it so clearly because that path is right in front of me. So where are we making things into judgment? Where are we playing in scarcity? Where are we not acknowledging the gift of everything? Instead of going, this isn't working for me. This is not a part of my plan. I didn't want to get sick. I don't have time to get sick. How come, some people are affected and other people aren't? Oh, it's just, what pandemic? It's not even a pandemic. It's just like a cold. Oh my God, put your mask up. I might die if you put your mask down a little bit. And I know this is kind of a bit of controversy, might be triggering people, but my job is to invite you to see where you're playing unconsciously from scarcity, from fear. A lot of fear is going to be coming up. And I knew that big things were going to happen in April. I didn't know what they were and I wasn't meant to know. And now I can see a lot of my friends and family and clients around me, and I can see what's going to be happening, the possibilities that could be happening, I should say, the infinite possibilities. I can see many, many, many different timelines that they can take in different paths, but it's not my job to tell them which path to take. That is ego. But it is my job to ask them, what are you choosing? So I find it absolutely fascinating to go through this process myself, to reevaluate everything, to reassess, to readjust, and to move forward. And if that means that everything I hold dear, that I'm holding onto for dear life, gets taken out from underneath me, so be it. If that means that I end up sitting there with nothingness because my thoughts have been taken from me and my channeling's been taken from me, my mediumship's been taken from me, like I have nothing but me, then is that not the biggest blessing of all time? It's a gift from God. It's a gift from Source. It's a gift from the universe. Whatever your higher consciousness is, yourself, you are a part of that. You are in the image of this higher consciousness. Why do we think we're separate from? So I gave myself an opportunity to completely stop. And my brain was going, no, 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 no. You've got to finish the program that you're in. No, 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 no. You don't want to get behind on your client calls. No, 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 no. How are these people going to live without you? And there's where the ego comes in. Because everybody, whether it's your children, whether it's your husband, whether it's your friends, whether it's your mother, whether it's your siblings, whether it's your clients, they all are magnificent. They all, and this is the thing I love about my coach, is she doesn't ever tell me what to do, right? She just says, what do you know? And am I happy to pay $10,000 or, multiple 5 figures for a coach to ask me, what do I know? Abso-freaking-lutely. Because when somebody can hold the space for you and when you can hold that space for yourself, that's what a coach is for, to allow you to be able to hold the space for yourself, because they are showcasing how to hold it, because we support each other in the collective. So it is absolutely gold to invest in yourself. It is absolutely gold to cancel the client when you cannot energetically hold the space for them. It is absolutely crucial that you can hold this space for yourself, and it's absolutely crucial that you take full responsibility for everything that happens in your life. If there's fights, if there is rejection, if there is shadows, if there is blocks, if you have COVID, or if you get cancer, or if you are having a marriage separation, if you can take epic amounts of responsibility and have unshakable faith that you, in fact, are a part of Source God, of high consciousness, of Creator. Like, I literally do not have a name, because I don't want to make it all significant, because I am that and that is me, and I am you and you are me. And yes, I can hear my mum's voice going, oh my God, that's so too woo woo, right? So that is like next level weird. We have to hold on to things, Victoria. We have to hold on to something that is solid, but no, you don't. Spirit doesn't. Conscious spirit comes and goes, and I can call it in, and it's here before I've even thought about calling it in. And this is what I teach in mediumship. You are it. It is you. And whatever you're doing right now, as long as you're not comparing, as long as you are knowing that this is what I'm desiring to create in this reality, and I'm going to create it, and I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to reassess, and I'm going to readjust, and I'm going to realign. There's a lot of words here today. I'm going to decondition, and I'm going to get support, no matter what energy type I am, right? I'm not here to go deep into human design. It's not my calling. I'm not here to be the best medium. I'm not here to be the best mother. I'm not here to be the best lover. I'm not here to be the best coach. I'm not here to be the best podcaster. I don't care about how to do a podcast. I just talk. I don't care, because I don't care. All I care about is being the highest expression of myself. And if that means nothingness, if that means getting taken out by COVID, which was purely my choice, which I'm just really acknowledging now and sharing this with you, and whether it's triggering you, whether you're having ahas, whether you are just listening and zoning out and going, I don't even know what she's talking about. I know that this is going to go in, and this is going to change your reality, because my voice has a vibration. And when I'm coming from my heart and this God source, this open source energy, and there's no expectation of what you want from me or what I'm here to give you, there's no expectation. There's no expectation at all. What if I could just lie on the couch and create millions of dollars, because that was what was created at that time? And now this week I have to move that body. I'm being called to move the meridians, to shed the old, to rebirth, to go through a baptism. We've just had Easter here. And, the dying on the cross, the mourning, the people mourning of that rebirth, of that resurrection, of that baptism. I know that's more at Easter, but the baptism, the rebirth, it's all the same. And we've got to look at these teachings from Jesus and know that if they're there's some truth in them. But what is that truth to us? Not what it says in the Bible or what the preachers say or the coaches or anything. What does it mean to you specifically? My sister, she did a Reiki session on me the other day. We're both 3/5s in human design personality type, so we're very similar. Yet we're so different, because she's an emotional manifest generator and I'm a projector. So we're so similar, but we are just energetically completely different. As she's working on me, we're both seeing our great-grandmother, who was a psychic medium, who was extremely religious as well. And she said we all have our cross to carry. And our one is this breaking of the paradigm of old consciousness, of being stuck, or being solid, or giving it up to God without actually acknowledging that you are a part of that God, and you need to take some goddamn responsibility for what you're doing and choosing, which is everything. Now, that's something that I don't think that the generations before me and my line, my ancestral line, will ever comprehend. But I see the Jesus and the Mary, and I see those stories, and I see that the cross, the cross that we carry, and I see that all of these different holidays that is kind of ridiculous that we have them. It's all the energy behind it, but Easter eggs and Santa Claus and all these beautiful, beautiful things that we have is also unique. And you can see it for the uniqueness and see that for the ridiculousness of where people are functioning from. Life is meant to be fun and joyful and expansive, and we're trying to show that with these holidays and with the fun of Easter eggs and presents, and this is the expression that I get from the Marys. I work deeply with the Virgin Mary Salome, and the Divine Mary and Mother Earth, and most of the people in my family line were called Mary as well. So, here's the thing. When are we going to start stepping up and realizing that we are a part of that? We have created this, and We get to create what we want to create. It's not following somebody. It's actually taking what you want from them or from the Bible or from the coach or from the preacher and putting your own expression onto that. It's about getting the support and realizing that I can't function the way I was functioning anymore. Not that I was functioning from wrongness. I certainly have always loved my job, and everything I'm doing, I've always loved. From when I was teaching consciousness classes, like 50 classes a year and stuff like that, like ridiculous. From when I was doing free master classes, from when I'm doing, like having 10 million groups and tons of stuff. I've done tons of stuff. I've been at spiritual wellness fairs doing $20 readings, from doing that to selling crystals, to selling oils, to doing Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. I've done a lot of different things, and they were all perfect at each and every time. And this is what we need to understand. We're not meant to stay still. We're meant to continuously move. And just because we pivot and shift and change, realign, reassess, and readjust, doesn't mean it doesn't mean that we're fickle. It doesn't mean that we are going to stop somewhere and do that for the rest of our goddamn lives. We're not here to work in one job for the rest of our lives unless it really lights you up so much and you are so content and happy, because that's all that matters. And that's what my granddad said before he dies. As long as you're happy, spend as much time with your kids as you possibly can. And as long as you're happy, I don't care what you do. And I feel him with me right here, right now. I feel a lot of emotions right now. People get older and they say, who gives a shit about everything? As long as you're happy. So we must constantly shift that target. And what I mean by that, it's not searching for the happiness. It's about being in the happiness and acknowledging that where I was 2 weeks ago is not who I am now. And that is what COVID gave me. Was an energetic upgrade, which I'm still going through. I believe the whole of April is a massive upgrade for me and for the collective. I've been feeling this for the last 6 months. September will be the next one. This time next year, I can nearly guarantee I'm not going to recognize the business that I'm in. The clients will be different. Some will come with me. Some will go off and explode on their own. My sisters will grow with me. My sister, my 3-5 sister now, is having huge shifts. Like I said, she's doing Reiki on me and she's shifting her paradigm. She's had an up level after doing my Reiki because we are so connected. We have the same shit because we've got the same upbringing, but yet it's all different. We get to rise together. We get to explode together. We get to realign, reassess, readjust, right? COVID was a gift to me. COVID was a gift to my husband. It was a gift to my children. It was a gift to the world because we created it. People are dying. People think it's a travesty. What if those people, what if they chose that? And people go, I didn't choose cancer, but what if you did? I know a friend who went through cancer and she said it's the best thing that ever happened to her because now she lives every single day and she has an impact and she teaches consciousness to people all around the world. I know people that have had breakdowns and burnouts, me being one of them, who have been on the verge of just not wanting to be here anymore. They say God doesn't give you too much that you can't handle. Or if we're talking about spirit, then of course. But there's a lot of humans that opt out of here because they don't want to be here because it's too hard. But we have to know that's a choice. It's not a wrongness. I do specialize in talking to spirit that have committed suicide because I have no judgment of them at all. Sometimes they have regrets. Most of them say to me, hey, Victoria, I couldn't be there anymore, so I chose to opt out, and that's okay. And then we have people that don't think that that's a choice, and they think, oh my God, and people think that they think that's selfish for someone to take their own life, but it's their life to take, right? Whether we have children, whether we don't, we have to acknowledge we're not here to control our children. We're here to activate each other in a way that works for us, which means we can't mimic each other. We're here to create a puzzle. We put all those pieces of the puzzle together and they are all different shapes and sizes. If I'm going to try and be a piece of puzzle like you, then we're just going to have one frickin' blank puzzle, aren't we? Or it's just not going to make any sense. But if we all acknowledge that we have to function differently, for instance, I like to go away for a week at a time by myself so I can focus on me. A lot of people go, I could never be away from my kids for that long. But my kids and my husband and I are so deeply close and connected. We're in love with each other. We're like madly in love with each other. We're obsessed with each other. But mama goes away for a week here or there. Lots of daddies do that around the world. Isn't it interesting that's okay for dads to work away, but not mums? We have to shift this paradigm and we have to take full, radical responsibility. And it's getting faster and faster and faster and faster. And this is what I keep saying to my clients, right? There's no emergency right now. There's no emergency. It's all happening anyway. When I was on the couch and the whole world was going by, I was looking at my peers and my friends and my coach, like I said before, creating a massive ripple effect in the world. And I'm sitting there going, should I be jealous? Because I can't do anything right now. I'm stuck on the couch watching Bridgerton, like watching Netflix. And half the year, I don't watch TV and I don't drink alcohol because I'm just creating. But Spirit said, stop. The world is going fast, but you are the creator of time. There's no emergency. Consciousness is created in stillness. And if you're not still enough to stop the mind and to just be, you know, when you're sick and you can't do anything and you're so tired that you can't even watch TV, but you can't sleep. So you're just like an old person that sits there, you know, when they're blind and they're deaf and they just sit there. What if they were the most conscious of all? And maybe that's why our old grandparents go, hey, as long as you're happy, don't worry about it. What if none of this is going to matter? It's all about you. It's not about chasing the next thing. Our targets will always shift and move, and as long as they bring you copious amounts of joy and expansion and this orgasmic energy, go do that thing. I was stuck in my body and I couldn't move. And this happened through my awakening as well, where I could not move, but I was just like, I've got to get up. I've got to make money. I've got to serve my children. I've got to try and work on my relationship because it's not great. And what about these friendships? I can never keep up with the friendships. I woke the fuck up after begging for medication and the doctor saying no. I woke up and I've created probably nearly $1 million, I'd say, in the last few years. I don't know the exact numbers, it doesn't matter, in my holistic business. By choosing moment to moment to moment to moment, the needle is always shifting. We're always pivoting, but it comes back to the same thing, joy and expansion of being who we are, taking responsibility and actually making a choice and a decision. One universal rule that has not changed is free will. It's interesting how we don't practice that though, and we judge others who do use that. I get to do what I want when I want, and I chose to get COVID, and I chose for it to take me out because the only thing that was going to stop me was something very radical. So they stopped the channeling, they stopped the guidance. They didn't stop the guidance, but they stopped the channels. They stopped the mediumship. They stopped the ambition. They stopped the creativity, and they said, get on that couch and don't move. And my husband's going, get up, babe, get up, move your body. I was like, I can't move. Is this depression? Like, what is this? I don't even know what this is. I'm confused. I wasn't confused. I was just still. I gained more clarity in that 2 weeks of being stuck on the couch watching Bridgerton than I've ever had in my life. I realized that I don't want to watch TV a lot because I don't want to be in other people's realities. My reality is actually a lot more juicier than TV, which is kind of interesting. It was good to switch off that brain. But I had a time where I was so obsessed with Coronation Street that I would wait for 7 days for it to come on. I was mourning. Before the episode finished on a Thursday night, I was mourning it. Oh my God, when is Coronation Street going to be back on? I was in Coronation Street. I was in that reality and I hated mine. Fucking hated my reality. Now I'm watching the best programs, binging these programs because I was stuck on the couch, had nothing else to do, couldn't journal, couldn't channel, couldn't serve my clients. I was like, I can't even go hop in the bath. I'm too tired. I'm binging them and I was like, I can't wait for until I'm better because I love watching these programs, but I'm seeing the actors and I'm seeing them living out their lives and I'm seeing this creativity and I want to be creative. I want to get out there. I want to be a fullest expression of myself. I haven't been playing big enough. So I'm going to sit here in this presence and I'm going to really get this lesson and then I'm going to explode my reality. And I don't even know how I'm going to do it. And I might lose everything and everyone and everything I've created. I might wipe my entire socials. I don't know what's going to happen and I am so scared. But as long as I follow that with my relationships and with my business, with where I want to move, I need to talk to consciousness. I need to be the consciousness rather than being in this linear reality, which I didn't even realize I was in. There's always another layer. Okay, so I would love to hear from you guys. If you are not on Psychic Mediumship with Victoria Bond on Facebook, check that out. Check the link in the show notes. Magnificent Mediumship. Okay, this is where it's at. Magnificent Mediumship is more than a mediumship program. It is a foundation for a conscious life, an abundant life. And that is where it's at. So if you want to go on that waiting list, or if you have done it before, you get a repeater price. So you get it for half price if you've already done it before. Come on this up level, come on this journey, this soul discovery, this metamorphosis, right? I'm here for you for this. And I'm here to hold the space for you so you can learn how to hold that space for yourself. All you have to do is go on the waiting list, message me or my team, and reach out and let's play. Lots of love, guys. Listening to today's episode. I trust that you got those golden nuggets that you required to shift your consciousness, to expand your awareness, and to turn up your capacity. I invite you to share this podcast with anyone that you feel would benefit from it. And also share the golden nuggets that you have learned with your friends, family, and of course, clients. You can contact me if there's anything that you want to specifically share with me, or if there's anything you want me to specifically share on the podcast. You can check out the show notes and find me on my socials, and myself or my team will get back to you. My heart to yours. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.